Artificial intelligence is more than just a recent buzzword. It has seeped its way into our everyday lives and demands the question of its inherent ethics. AI is defined as the science and engineering of making intelligent machines. This encompasses computers that can perform tasks that typically require a level of human intelligence. Now, contrary to popular belief, AI is not a novel idea. It was first conceptualized in 1950 by Alan Turing in a paper titled Computing Machinery and Intelligence. This postulated that a machine could learn from experience and alter its own instructions accordingly. Despite investments diminishing in 1974 and a clear lack of computing power hindering the field, many landmark goals were achieved by intelligent systems by the 1990s. Since these many breakthroughs, AI has grown exponentially and expanded so far as to be applied in everyday life. It has seen multiple uses such as in job recruitment, healthcare, judicial systems, and the automotive industry. While the applications of AI can be beneficial to these industries, its use raises numerous ethical concerns and has sparked many debates and controversies. For example, Amazon has utilized AI in an effort to automate the job search process, which rated applicants on a scale from 1 to 5 stars. However, in 2015, after training the AI platform with applicant resumes across 10 years, machine learning specialists soon realized that there was implicit bias built into the system. The tool was trained by merely reading applicant resumes, but most of the applicants were male. As a result, it penalized applications that contained the words female and women, leading to an unfair assessment of female candidates. Similar biases were also found with AI used in the judicial system. Compass is an AI platform used in numerous counties in the US. By giving the defendants answers to a questionnaire, it assesses the likelihood of them becoming a repeat offender. In 2016, however, it was found that the system had inherent racial bias. Compass only mislabeled 23% of white defendants, while a whopping 45% of black defendants were given inaccurate assessments. These biased evaluations were then used in court and cited by judges in their sentencing, so as a result, numerous defendants have received unfair trials. Since the late 2010s, the use of AI in healthcare has also expanded rapidly. Numerous companies such as IBM, Atomwise, and Path AI have developed AI solutions for improving the accuracy of diagnoses, enhancing the drug discovery process, and managing healthcare data. However, biases in these systems are again a cause for concern among experts. Patients that provide doctors with inaccurate information can indirectly create biases in healthcare-related AI. And there may be gaps in data that could lead to particular race groups being misdiagnosed as low risk for otherwise life-threatening diseases. The ethical challenges in AI yet again persist, but also in the automotive industry. AI can be utilized in decision-making for controlling autonomous vehicles. However, ethical debates have surrounded AI's decision-making capabilities if, for example, a car is faced with an unavoidable crash. In 2022, footage revealed a Tesla vehicle hitting a child-sized test dummy while using its autonomous navigation feature. This incident sparked public scrutiny and led to questions about the ethical implications of autonomous navigation in road vehicles. The use of AI in these fields threatens the job security of its workers. Unemployment already severely affects several countries around the world, even those with the largest GDPs. For example, since 2000, 1.7 million jobs in manufacturing have been replaced by automation. As AI continues to gain traction, the question of ethics remains a point of contention. So what will it take to earn humans' trust? The first thing to consider is the robustness of the AI model. The applications that utilize these models must assure users that nobody can hack into it and willfully put the user at a disadvantage. Tech giants such as Microsoft and IBM are strong supporters of this requirement, since they have expressed concerns on AI-powered surveillance as biases within these systems can result in ethical concerns such as racial profiling as observed in the Compass system. The second criteria is transparency. For AI to become a staple in everyday applications, users must be aware that an AI model is being used in the decision-making process before using an application. The curator of the model must also be able to inform users what methods, datasets, and information were being used to create and train the model. With the aim of transparency, researchers have developed OpenCog, which is an open-source framework for AI development. The third standard is privacy. The model must respect the privacy choices that consumers make regarding their data. This can be done by ensuring that users are informed about the potential data collection that will occur to further improve and train the model. Not all AI follows the privacy criteria. A notable breach of privacy was when Cambridge Analytica utilized AI to collect and sell data from Facebook users about Ted Cruz and Donald Trump in the 2016 US presidential election without users' knowledge or consent. Information about the data breach was disclosed in 2018, and the Federal Trade Commission fined Facebook $5 billion due to its privacy violations. Lastly, the model must ensure its impartiality. The AI model must be fair, particularly towards historically underrepresented and oppressed groups. The curator of the model must ensure that if the model utilizes reinforcement learning to tweak and adjust itself, then the new data that is being used does not compromise its pre-existing impartiality. Opponents of AI, specifically in replacing jobs, argue that AI is not meeting the impartiality pillar. John Danaher, a vocal opponent of AI, argues that new technologies render our jobs devoid of meaning. Rather than the technology simply replacing our jobs, Danaher believes AI will change the nature of our jobs and sap the element that give it meaning and purpose. Jobs are not only an economic necessity, they provide human beings with a sense of purpose. Researchers highlight 5 dimensions of meaningful work that AI will have implications on: task integrity, skill cultivation and use, task significance, autonomy, and belongingness. Humans can form 3 types of relationships with AI in the workplace. Supervisory, where humans provide tasks to AI; maintenance, where humans maintain machines performing their tasks; and order following, where humans follow work plans provided by AI. Supporters of AI believe that a supervisory relationship can be beneficial to workers, as AI can reduce the amount of error-prone tasks for skilled workers. They believe that AI can augment human capabilities and enrich the work experience, thus driving productivity, creating better jobs for humans, and promoting societal well-being. They advocate for a universal basic income to offset individuals displaced by AI-driven job losses. On the other hand, opponents like Danaher argue against AI in the workplace, as it can create order-following relationships. While these may not cause mass unemployment, it would force individuals to locate their sense of purpose in other facets of life, and those with less education are more likely to have their jobs automated and less likely to benefit than skilled workers. We want to emphasize the crucial role of professional engineers in the era of AI, focusing on ethics, responsibility, liability, and our duty to respect the environment and life. In healthcare, we must stand for respect for life. AI systems must be rigorously tested to put a patient's safety above all, and we must ensure that our data is as non-discriminatory as possible. Moving to autonomous vehicles, we design AI systems in such a way that the environment is respected by reducing emissions and optimizing routes, and above all, we prioritize life, striving to reduce accidents and ensure road safety. In the face of job displacement, we engineer solutions that respect workers' livelihoods. This includes supporting reskilling and upskilling programs to ensure a fair workforce transition. As professional engineers, we don't just create technology, we champion ethics, responsibility, and accountability, but we also uphold something deeper, respect for the environment and respect for life, as is mentioned in the Engineers Act. We as engineers are at the forefront of a dual responsibility, to harness AI for societal betterment while minimizing harm and promoting sustainability. The question remains, how can we establish AI ethics so that it becomes the heart of every AI application? The first step is firmer governance. As governments are starting to realize the impact that AI has in everyday decision-making, governmental councils and committees like the Advisory Council on AI in Canada and the White House's Select Committee on AI are being created to work with ethics researchers to start creating laws and regulations that establish ethical standards and legislation around the AI model's lifecycle. Every organization must have clearly defined principles that are applied to its practices when developing an AI model. The goals of some of these organizations can be profit-driven, but they must ensure that fairness, equality, and transparency are working in tandem with their goals. Bearing these solutions in mind, we inch closer to closing the ethical chasm of AI.